Hello and welcome to Tales from the Gutter, a scandalous podcast.
Escandalo.
Escandalo. I am your girlfriend from Canada, Mikki Lexa.
I think I'm just Blake Hunsley this week.
Oh no.
I know. I'll think of something else for next week. But for right now, I'm just going to be myself.
And I'm Brent Robertson.
It's the best advice.
Brenterly. If Lin-Manuel Miranda's award-winning Broadway musical has taught me anything, it's that Alexander Hamilton would have gone to any length to protect his pride and reputation, including, but not excluded, to destroying that very pride and reputation himself.
I was just thinking, I was like, Woody though? Because this is the guy who in the newspaper was like, no, these are my sexual exploits.
That is what we are here to discuss
Yay!
today.
Excellent.
Oh, wait. I have many more things to tell you.
Along with at least half a dozen other people, including his wife, and popping America's cherry as the newly born nation's first political sex scandal.
Gross.
Yeah. 1791 was a busy year for the founding father from the Caribbean island of Nevis. Following the defeat of the British 8 years earlier, Hamilton had gained a reputation as a hard-nosed nerd, diligently and in many cases obnoxiously asserting both federal powers and his own arrogance on state representatives and members of the opposition in Congress. It's a real pain in the ass to have to work with. While his achievement of authoring the vast majority of the voluminous Federalist Papers, along with creating the U.S. Mint as the first Secretary of the Treasury, and keeping the debt-soaked young state out of sticky situations with creditors, comprised mostly of foreign courts and rowdy mobs, his manner won him few friends who could celebrate his accomplishments. Instead, his enemies, the Jeffersonians, grew ever more loathsome and hateful towards him as the years passed.
Thomas Jeffersonians?
Yeah.
Okay.
Frustrated by his incessant arrogance and obsession with fighting over every single little detail as if it were the life of his own child. Looking to take Hamilton down a peg or two, these rivals were always on the search for any ammunition that could undermine the jumped-up little accountant. In the end, Hamilton would practically hand it to them himself. Working exhaustively while his wife Eliza extensively traveled, Hamilton often found himself in these post-fugue-ish states, having worked well past any mortal understanding of time and socialization, and finding no solace in solitude, sought out, be it consciously or subconsciously, someone to chase away the loneliness.
I'm just picturing Alexander Hamilton on like Tinder, just like desperately scrolling, like fucking Eliza's out of town. I hate being here by myself. Oh my god, here's my own
desperately
thoughts.
scrolling.
Just left,
Like
right,
just, no,
right,
like
right,
with
left.
two-
Desperately
big
Oh
seeking
yeah,
solace.
it is an
Oh,
actual
that's
like
pretty good.
mechanical thing.
That is pretty good.
Enter Maria Reynolds, a 23-year-old Philadelphia resident who approached Hamilton one balmy evening with a woeful story. Though a respectable enough young wife, her husband, James, had abandoned her, taking all their possessions and leaving her destitute. Touched by her ordeal, Hamilton promised to stop by her flat with some funds to help her along.
Was this like... This sounds like something anyone could have just walked up and been like, "Oh, Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, Mr. Hamilton.
I've fallen on hard times.
Please
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, attractive young dame, I believe you."
I'm a sucker. Here's my wallet.
Was her name Blanche Devereaux?
Wow. When Hamilton arrived, Maria invited him into her boudoir. Feeding him a few lines over some wine, Maria soon had Hamilton wrapped around her little finger, with the statesman later saying, "Some conversations ensued from which it quickly became apparent that other than pecuniary consolation would be acceptable." Money.
Right. Yeah.
She wanted to fuck.
Mm-hmm. But she wanted some money? Is that...
She wanted to fuck, but like
Pay me
not
the
as
bills.
much as the money up front, Yeah.
Thank you for your help now.
Thank you. Oh.
Let me help you in return.
Yeah. When Alexander grew bored by Autumn and made it clear he was over the whole thing,
Christ.
Maria and her miraculously returned husband James put their cards on the table. And in 2 letters that arrived on December 15th, 1791, one after the other.
Whoa, so she actually did have a husband. That
Yeah.
wasn't like, okay.
Were they in like first year university?
I love this. Like,
What?
hey, let's
No.
play Alexander Hamilton from Manning's.
Yeah. No, they're just like, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
I feel like there's a movie about this.
I
feel like this is like, not about Alexander Hamilton, but I feel like
like this whole
a
situation
scheming
is
couple
like,
that's like, yeah, honey, you go bang so-and-so, and then we'll blackmail them together.
It
So
is
It's
like
the Bonnie and Clyde.
it is amazing.
kind of, but with more whoring.
Bonnie and Clyde actually just
Bonnie and
murdered
Clyde,
people.
More horror.
Yeah, it did pretty much just whack people.
They just murdered people. Where am I? One from Maria and one from James. Maria warned Hamilton that James would be demanding money in exchange for his gentlemanly silence concerning the affair, and James demanded the incredible amount of $1,000, or he would go straight to the papers with the story.
Any idea what that would be today?
I believe it was $32,000.
That's
So, like, right up front, just give me $32,000 or I'm going to tell.
yeah, that's a sum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's decent.
Some.
yeah.
Yeah, and like inflation gets complicated around there because it's not just like, oh, what would the dollar be worth? You're buying fewer goods that, like it goes $32,000 goes a lot further.
No, I get that. It's not like
yeah.
comparing inflation. Like, what would 1950s dollars be
Yeah.
worth today? It's
So
like, no, this was.
It's
no.
conflating
Exactly.
inflation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
a
So
completely different
it's
style
an
of economy.
incredible amount of cash to be asking for like
Yeah,
the silence of someone.
yeah.
Pissed off, but at least still getting laid on a regular basis. Hamilton.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
He wasn't still banging her at this point.
Yes, sir.
He's still banging her while her
At
husband
least
is
he's
back in
paid
us.
now.
That's hilarious. Be like, fine, I will pony up the dough, but
Just,
yeah.
I am that bored.
But put your skirt up, come on.
Well,
This is still a transactional Tuesday.
Hamilton agreed, which resulted in James realizing he should have asked for more money. The arranged affair lasted for over a year.
Oh, so that's it. Okay, it wasn't just like, I'll tell unless you give me the
No,
money.
I'll tell.
It was like,
give me the money. He gave him the
Give me
money,
the
and then
money.
was like, "Can I still fuck your wife?" And he was like, "Give me more money." And
That's
it's like,
great.
okay. So
Okay.
whenever you come by, you give some cash, and then fuck his wife.
okay. Was Alexander Hamilton unattractive? Because
No, Alexander Hamilton was a baby-faced, smooth,
well,
courtly
then go
boy.
find some less complicated side piece.
He was only
like,
fucking married, and
that's what
had,
I'm saying.
he was not only married. His sister-in-law was already involved in an affair with him.
So he likes.
Like had been.
So he just
he likes the drama.
Yeah, he likes
He
the
loves
drama.
the drama.
He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's the Kardashian of the time.
And he
For being such a
loves his
successful
wife's
musical,
family.
this is not a sympathetic core character.
No, he is not.
So
Like,
he's
it's
Kanye.
conflict. He's very Kanye in that, like, people who love him, and there's definitely a side where it's like, yeah, you are pretty amazing, but then it's like, wow, you're a fucking asshole. Anywhere. Where was I? The arrange lasted for over a year, finally sputtering out in the fall of 1792, as Hamilton grew tired of having to drop at least a few $100s anytime he wanted some company. Fuck. Just like enormous amounts of cash at this time. Well paid courtesan.
Yeah.
Eventually, Hamilton threw enough money at the Reynolds that they were satisfied, and the three separated for a time. At least until James was arrested in connection to defrauding a Veterans Assistance Fund, veterans of the Revolutionary War,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and started name-dropping Hamilton all over the place.
Shit.
While Alexander got him out of trouble, rumors were afoot that the Secretary of the Treasury was involved in some vague improprieties. And soon enough, some of his political enemies followed the scent of blood. A year to the day of the blackmail.
This is the thing, though. If you're going to be in politics, even at that fucking early stage in
Yeah.
history, in
Like,
American
don't be an
history,
idiot.
for Christ's sakes,
Yeah.
like,
But they always are.
Maybe responding to, like, I'll go to the papers if you don't, like, pay up. Maybe responding to that with, okay, but I'm gonna keep banging your wife is a stupid decision.
Just wait a minute, I can have my cake and eat this bitch too.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross. You could have worked, like, eating her cakes too, but, like, you know.
Yeah. I didn't even mean in that sense, but okay. Now
If you're gonna go for a cunnilingus joke, just come on, pony up and go straight for an analingus joke.
I think you're right.
I feel like that's a word, analingus.
Analingus, yes,
We've
it is.
learned 2 words today.
It is indeed, and we have
Pecuniary analingus.
Pecuniary, which is actually, I believe, an act. 3 congressmen.
It's not an act if there's emotions involved.
There you go. It's a performance.
Potato.
You can use a potato for that.
Oh, God. A year to the day that the blackmail began, 3 congressmen, including future President James Monroe, quietly approached Hamilton with the allegations and demanded he clear the mess up, at least between gentlemen. Hamilton agreed and shared the details of the entire sordid affair, privately embarrassing himself but convincing his critics that he was the foolish victim of a criminal couple.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So he went full public with it.
No, he didn't go full public
okay.
yet. This is just between these 3.
Okay, but he painted
and
himself
he was just like,
I'm
oh
the
my
victim
God.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which stopped like any investigation from the Congress because they were like, "Wow, that's embarrassing."
Okay.
You probably wouldn't. Yeah. Okay.
Were they from the same party as
No,
him?
this is these are Jeffersonians.
And they didn't come out with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a different era to today.
Right.
Nowadays it would be like, that is embarrassing. Hello, Fox and CNN and MSNBC.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Right. Now, we will get into that. Everyone agreed that was that, and so the scandal ended. Until Monroe sent the documents Hamilton had provided proving the affair to Hamilton's chief enemy and political diva, Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson was, if anything, a very shrewd operator, and wisely sat on the evidence until a rainy day, which finally came around once Jefferson was in office as the 2nd president and began systematically taking out his many petty grudges and vengeances.
Nice.
He was a bitch.
And a slave owner, but I guess that's not unusual for everyone in this story.
We will get into that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not good. We're going to get into slavery, but, you know.
Oh, God. In 1797, less than a year after Jefferson took office, a journalist on his payroll, one James Callender, released a series of highly suggestive and obnoxiously inquisitive pamphlets. I really like. I think we're familiar with obnoxiously inquisitive. Dropping hints and asking questions about Hamilton's late-night excursions and excretions.
Excretions.
Yes.
Gross.
Including direct quotes and snippets from the documents Hamilton had given Monroe in confidence. Things quickly got so bad between the previously polite rivals that Hamilton demanded Monroe face him in a duel, which was only narrowly averted by the wise and peaceful words of Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr, tell me about Aaron Burr.
We'll get into that.
Okay, alright.
Still royally pissed about losing the election the year before and being toyed with by the Francophile-in-chief, Hamilton went nuclear on himself. On August 25th, Hamilton published a 95-page book detailing in intricate splendor every aspect of his affair and business arrangement with the Reynolds, including how he had managed
95 pages?
95 detailed pages.
Jesus Christ.
With documents reproduced.
This is great. It's like he's just overwhelming them with evidence.
Yeah. Including how he had managed to hide it all from his otherwise unawares and shock-taken wife.
Oh, didn't she... I'm sure you're about to tell me this, but didn't she find out from the papers as well?
Correct.
Yeah, that's
just the shittiest.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's like breaking up with someone over text.
He's a
No.
piece of shit.
No, it's
worse
not.
than that.
It's like breaking up with someone live
Press
on
release,
television
yeah.
talking to someone not you. You're at home watching that television
It's
show.
like, it's breaking up with someone on Oprah.
Yeah.
Where you tell Oprah.
You get a car, you don't get anything.
I'm actually leaving them.
You get to find a new place to live.
Yeah, you get a car to live in.
Oh. That's great. Under your seat, you'll find your new home.
Aww.
Bleep, bleep.
There's nothing under there. Exactly. There's just enough room for you to curl up under seat 21B.
Jesus. The curtain was torn away from the...
I want a homeless man.
Oh my god. The curtain was torn away before the gawping American public, who could see the Reynolds exposed as pimps and whores, Hamilton as a sex-starved embarrassment, his wife as a joke, as his enemies as unhonorable sneak thieves, and Calendar.
Which is kind of great. It's like, you know what? If you're really backed into a corner, like, all right, you win.
Yeah.
It's going to be a delightful Pyrrhic victory for all of us.
Exactly.
But you win.
It's
Burn
possibly
it all
the
down.
greatest
Watch the world burn.
Yeah, the greatest Pyrrhic victory in American history.
That's kind of great.
And Calendar, a no-good son of a bitch. Calendar would later feel underpaid for this skullduggery on behalf of Jefferson, and reveal that Jefferson had been screwing his house slave. So it's from him that got revealed. Because he was all like, you were supposed to give me big money, bitch. I'm not rolling in big money. Fuck you. This guy rolled hard. I think he was stabbed in an alley.
I'm glad everyone's uniformly terrible in this story. This is good.
Oh, God, yes. Well, Hamilton came out on top of the rubble heap in the end. It's believed that the scandal permanently stunted his political future, and is why he never became president himself. His temper would later prove the end of him when in 1804 he got in a similar public beef with one-time savior Aaron Burr, who finally shot the mouthy math nerd to death, thus ending the life of Alexander Hamilton. But what if the Reynolds affair never actually happened?
Explain.
No matter which source we go to for the details of the affair, it all comes from Hamilton himself. The documentation from both Hamilton's 95-page self-expose and Calendar series came from Hamilton. And Reynolds and Hamilton both admit that they had been in a business arrangement involving thousands of dollars when Reynolds was caught committing a separate fraud. When Reynolds began speaking word of the scandal, the first people they found were three who already suspected Hamilton of misusing his office, but were known for their discretion when dealing with sensitive matters. Providing them with a detailed and documented alibi would squash such talk of shady dealings in the Treasury among Congress, while seemingly putting Hamilton in his place in the eyes of his rivals. When the scandal publicly broke, though, in 1797, Monroe, one of the few people who had ever seen the original documents detailing the affair, privately explained the lurid story away as being a grand cover-up by Hamilton.
That's fucking priceless.
Who he claimed was misusing the powers and fortunes of his office for ill-gotten gain. Monroe never gave further details to the scheme, nor made his suspicions public, though. According to the historian Tiller Mazzeo, a respected American scholar who recently completed a biography of Alexander's wife Eliza, no document that Hamilton, a fastidious cataloger of his forest of correspondence, claimed to have based his 95-page confession of ever materialized. None of those original documents popped up. Hamilton claimed they were stored with a colleague, but that unnamed man claimed he had no idea what Hamilton was talking about.
95 pages is a hell of a lot to make up, though. Like,
it's Alexander Hamilton. He wrote 3/4 of the Federalist Papers.
That's fair. That's fucking priceless, though.
Yeah. Likewise, letters he did provide to Monroe, supposedly written by Maria Reynolds, resembled Hamilton's own handwriting. If the well-known scribbler had intentionally made his work look messy, And the sort of spelling mistakes an educated and lettered man of his age would make if they were trying to seem like an unlearned peasant.
What kind of a jagoff do you have to be to cover up your actual crimes with not just that story that will smear your own reputation in the eyes of history, no less. Like, it's a big enough smear to actually, like, remain on your reputation. But also just, like, he fucking humiliates your wife.
Yeah, shits on her as hard as possible.
Yeah.
It's pulling the fire escape on your life.
Yeah, it really is.
It's, it's pulling, like, napalm down on your life, for Christ's sakes. It's nuts.
So, like...
well, I guess he kept his job in the end, right?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Well, yeah, so he kept his job and stayed out of prison, so...
Yeah,
there you go.
So such as misspelling bigger words that were still properly used and would not have been known by a peasant, while not making more common mistakes such as adding a K to night.
Oh, yeah.
All while still maintaining proper grammar and punctuation. What could the second most powerful man in America, in charge of her growing fortunes, quick to anger, often looked down upon for his own lacking wealth and background, possibly have to hide? Thanks to some well-placed lurid details, spilled twice from Hamilton's own quill, we will never know.
That's hilarious. It's very House of Cardsy.
It's so House of Cardsy.
It's super House of Cardsy, but it does, if you want to stay out of prison and you want to keep your job, and you can do it, but, like, what a massive cost. I guess your reputation would be ruined either way.
Yeah, and
so
like,
you might as well pick the one that's embarrassing but not not public life. Well, no, it is not work destroying. Really, is the only thing.
Exactly.
You'll be known, but you'll be known for very different,
Well, I mean, if it turns out that he was a big old thief, then, like, he would have been turfed from office, probably thrown in prison, and, like, would have been remembered as a disgraced
It's lighting a
thief.
match,
So, like,
throwing it out, and hoping everything burns, and hoping you can walk
it's the
through
lesser of
ashes.
two evils, but Jesus Christ, is it still an evil?
Oh, and Eliza was in on it because she later destroyed all of her handwritten notes, love letters from Alexander that were used as comparisons to the handwriting.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's even more House of Cards if she's like the gold bitches.
That's the thing. Maybe she took a dive.
Christ, that is straight up like.
Yeah.
I think we just figured out where they got some of their scripts from. Jesus Christ.
So
straight from history.
Hamilton, it's a thing.
That's great.
Thank you so much for listening to Tales from the Gutter, a scandalous podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, please ding the thing.
Oh, and you can find us, because I'm good at this now, at youtube.com/mygenderiscinema.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out...
Fucking professional.
Don't forget to check out HereEgo Productions on Patreon, where you'll find this and other podcasts and videos, plus much, much more. And please show your support by pledging as little as $1 a month so we can keep bringing these shows to you. Catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.